Hi everyone, Mrs. Olson here. Today's lesson is on the Monroe Doctrine. Now, the Monroe Doctrine was named after President Monroe, and a doctrine, think of it like a document, a policy that bigwigs sign. Let's start with the learning target. It says that we are going to analyze a political cartoon to understand the effects of the Monroe Doctrine. So we're going to be using a cartoon to help us understand what the impact, the effects of this policy was. Now, before we get into the actual assignment, let's start off with, say, an entry task and look at an example political cartoon. Okay? So I'm going to pull that up right here and have us look at this cartoon. Now, a political cartoon is a statement. It is a message about something important that's going on. The political cartoon is trying to convey this message, oftentimes with an opinion, through the use of graphics and words. The political cartoon. So the very first thing that I like us to do when we analyze a political cartoon is to pick it apart. I want you to look at all the details in the cartoon. So let's pretend this is our entry task, even though this is just a video. And I'd like you to pause the video right here and start naming off out loud, even though you're talking to a screen. I'd like you to name out loud all the details that you see in this cartoon. You're going to talk about text, words that you see in the cartoon, even things that are in the background. If there are people, then you are going to probably list what they are wearing and even talk about facial expression and perhaps anything that they might have on their person. Maybe they're holding something, again, maybe they're wearing something, maybe there's an object that is next to them. The reason why we pick it apart is so that we can understand all the details in the cartoon. All the details add to the message of the cartoon. Okay, so pause it right here so that you can start listing off all of the different pieces or details that the cartoonist put into the cartoon. Okay, pause. Now that you've listed all the details, let's go over them, okay? So in the background, there are clouds. And this looks to be like an ocean. So we've got clouds, we've got ocean. There are two hemispheres here that the cartoonist has put on the picture, right? The Western hemisphere, we can see text here. And then this, even though we can't see it, is going to be the Eastern hemisphere. Now on these, you can see different continents, okay? Continents. And on the South American continent, the cartoonist has put a hat, which says Monroe Doctrine, and it even has stars on it. So we could say that this is mimicking the stars of the American flag. All right, this person is Uncle Sam. And these people look to be important leaders of European countries over here in the Eastern Hemisphere. Okay? You could say that they are wearing hats, they are wearing suits, they look to be pretty nice. Okay? Now, when we put all of these details together, like I said before, then the message should emerge. So, here we have the Western and Eastern hemispheres. The cartoonist purposely divided them. Uncle Sam often represents the United States government, and he's kind of thrown his hat on South America, which says Monroe Doctrine. So what could we determine from putting all of the details together? That Uncle Sam on top of the Western Hemisphere controls this area of the world and doesn't want all of these European nations to come over across this line that he's created in the world to the Western Hemisphere. Okay? So these are the types of things that you will be doing with your cartoon analysis. Before we get there, let's get some more information about the Monroe Doctrine. And that is going to be with a fairly short reading that you have a link to, and it's just titled Monroe Doctrine. You can see it's only one page, but it isn't really a full page. So here we've got some introductory information, a modern map that shows us North America and South America. And then this area of the world is called Central America. Okay, just kind of skimming over what is going to happen here. Here is President Monroe, who the Monroe Doctrine is named after. Okay. Here it is bolded, so you know that there is going to be a definition here with it. And let's just kind of skip ahead to the very end where it says that the Monroe Doctrine was a bold act for a young nation, the United States. The doctrine upheld Washington's policy of avoiding European entanglements and also guided American foreign policy for years. So now you know that the Monroe Doctrine is going to stay on the books, so to speak, for a long time. It's going to back up the U.S. foreign policy for a long time to come. Okay, so let's go to our actual assignment, the political cartoon analysis, okay? And you can see that the very first thing that I want you to do is to describe everything that you see in the cartoon. And the one that I want you to use, I actually chose one that's in color. Here we go. Is this one right here, okay? So, the longest part of the analysis actually is to list all the different pieces that go into the cartoon. Now some of you guys are going to ask, well, how many details do I need to put in there? Let's just say that you want to have a lot of details. Once again, this is the longest part. So should you have more than 3? Absolutely. More than 5? Yes. Perhaps shoot for 10 different details. And if you can get more, that's awesome. And in this space right here, you can do that in a bulleted form. You don't have to write complete sentences when you're listing the details, okay? So, what issue or event inspired the cartoon? Well, we're talking about the Monroe Doctrine. Okay, this one's kind of easy. Are there real people in the cartoon? So you know, we just saw it, that there is a real person in the cartoon. So yes, and then explain who they are. What is their purpose in the cartoon? Are there any symbols? There are symbols in this cartoon. Now I want you to use what Uncle Sam is wearing to answer this question. And perhaps look at the colors that they purposely used in this cartoon. Okay? Moving on. What is the message of the cartoon? That should emerge, that should come out once you have gone through all of the details. You put those together to say what the message is. And then this may be similar to this question right here. You're going to be able to tell what the cartoonist's opinion about the Monroe Doctrine is right here. And then the last one says, what is the theme of this cartoon? And here I put theme is the meaning behind or revealed by a story. So in the course, in the lesson, I actually gave you a link. It's right here. I gave you a link to this page that will help you to understand more about what a theme is. Okay, so that's that last part right there. Let me go back to it. So that is the last part on this question. Okay, what is the theme of the cartoon? Now, with everything that I want you to do, make sure that you're using a different color or a different font when you're responding to each of the 7 questions. All right, guys, this is your assignment on the Monroe Doctrine. You're using the reading, which is short, and the political cartoon to help you answer these questions right here. All right, ask me questions if you have them. Bye.